All right, so let's begin. For today's session, we will be talking about what it means to make something last. So, all right, there we go. So the real question is, we have a lot of different projects and interventions, and there's so much, not only that we want to do, but that we do and create. But the problem is, how do we make these things last? How do we sustain them over time? That is the question we seek to answer for this particular session. And to allow me, and in order to allow us to do so, kindly please first scan the QR code attached on the walls for the pre-session expectation survey. And then, of course, please move forward. So everyone standing, please do occupy the seats in front of you, especially those rowers of first row, so we can have a more intimate discussion. And now, allow me to welcome on the floor two amazing organizations who really push for interventions that have tested this, that have lasted the test of time. We have with us, of course, Saad, moderated by Jep here, as well as Rural Rising, who will be joining us this morning. So, Jep, to continue this introduction, please take the floor over.
Thank you very much, Sean. Magandang umaga po sa lahat. Maayong buntag sa inyong tanan. Tama po? And good morning to everyone. I am Jep Gabon. I am from the Department of Agriculture, Special Area for Agriculture, Rural Development Program, or DA Saad program. So you are here at the Zero Exclusion, Zero Carbon, Zero Poverty, 3-0 Southeast Asia Forum, fostering a sustainable and inclusive agriculture system. For this segment, for this discussion segment, we have from programs to a viable system, ensuring inclusive and long-term model for the most marginalized. So we hope that by the end of this session, we can determine, while we are in this session, we can determine key challenges in agri-interventions program. Of course, we have here farmer and fisher association leaders who will share and highlight their success stories, because it's different when you're in the institution and it's very different when you're implementing the projects on the field. So it's good that we can ask for their insights about it. And ultimately, we will have to determine, if we can determine today, it's a long run from here, but I hope we can identify mechanisms and tools to convert these interventions to be adaptable and sustainable. Actually, those are the keywords of this session. So allow me to introduce to you, since I'm coming from the Department of Agriculture now, perceptions about agriculture. So when I thought 2 years ago, before I entered the agriculture, the department, I was thinking that agriculture means agricultural livelihood projects. The battle cry of the DA is masaganang ani, mataas na kita, or prosperous and profitable yield. So I'm thinking about livelihood interventions for our farmers and fishers. But alongside these concepts, we must remember that the mandate of the department is to secure food, or food security and food sufficiency. That's why the buzzword in the development sector right now is sustainability. How do we sustain these programs? On farmers and fishers, according to the PSA, or Philippine Statistics Authority, per Republic Act 8425, or the Social Reform and Poverty Alleviation Act, poor, or the poorest sectors refers to individuals and families whose income fall below the poverty threshold. That's according to NEDA. They described it as individuals who cannot sustain and provide their minimum basic needs of food, health, education, housing, and other essential amenities in life. So, formerly, there are 14 items in this list of the most marginalized sectors in the Philippines. However, because of sectoral income data, it was trimmed to 9. So 2 of those 9 items are named fishers and farmers. It gets more complicated because some of the list are women, youth, children, senior citizen. And we all know that some farmers are women, some fishers are senior citizens, some of them are youth. So due to this intersecting poverty impact, into these sectors, we need to talk about sustainability because they are the most vulnerable to risks. They are living into the most inaccessible places in the Philippines, and they are most susceptible to food insecurity. So this is why we are very lucky that we are joined by agricultural development experts and practitioners, farmer and fisher association leaders and officers on the field for this session this morning. So let's begin with a brief background and context of our invited organization. Let's start off with a special area for agricultural development program. Let me call on here on stage our National Program Director, Mr. Ulysses J. Lustria Jr. Ayan. How about the hand? Yes, sir. Sige. Kahit saan po. Okay. And of course, with us, Zamboanga del Norte, Department of Agriculture, Region 9, representatives from the D. Riconalia Farmers Association President, Mr. Rodolfo Anyal, with the area coordinator from Leon Postigo Municipality in Zamboanga del Norte, Ms. Marisol Opinio. So you can take the seats here. I think for the officers, we can take the moving chair. Yung swivel chair na lang po, apo. And then si farmer na lang po dito, ma'am, dito na po kayo. Okay, next is the president of the Lala Fishermen's Cooperative or Lafico from Lanao del Norte, Bureau of Fisheries and Agricultural Resources, BFAR Region 10, Mr. Lauro Doruelo Reyes. Hi, Tay. With him is Lanao del Norte staff, BFAR Region 10, Aljun Magamano. All right. And aside from Saad, we are joined by the Rural Rising PH, headed by their founders, Mr. Andy Estrada, Miss Andy Estrada, and Mr. Ace Estrada. So, how about a hand for the Rural Rising PH? I read about them this week, so very interesting. I hope we can have more insights from these organizations. So, let us begin with our introduction. I think Sir Yuli has a presentation prepared. So, where should I go here? Okay. Okay lang po ba? You can remove your masks face mask for ease of discussion. So here's our program director, Mr. Ulysses J. Lustria Jr.
Good morning po to everybody. Thank you for inviting the Special Area for Agricultural Development Program. Saad in short, in the under the Department of Agriculture. In the first slide, you could see it's a little small, but Saad means promise in Bisaya. But it has a more deeper meaning in Masbate. It is felicity, happiness. Also, in Arabic, it is success or good luck. So, it has all the positive meanings. So, it is not just a promise for our farmers and fishermen. It hopes to give them success. Like the farmers and fisher folk that we have here now. And Saad was implemented from 2017 to this year, 2022. It is now terminating. But that is just the first phase. We were fortunate to be again funded under the government, Philippine government, from 2023 to 2028. So that's another 6 years of assistance to our farmers and fisher folk. And we will cover municipalities nationwide. Okay. And also in the slide, you could see some of the accomplishments. I won't read the numbers anymore, but basically the components of the Saad program is program management, of course, and then social preparation. This is one major component of the Saad. As we all know, well, sometimes government forgets the social preparation part. So we made it really a mandatory requirement to provide social preparation to beneficiaries or recipients. So social preparation for us means community needs assessment, assessing what is in the community, also what they want, what the beneficiaries want, but also what is suitable in the area. It's not just what they want, but we have to harmonize it based on what is suitable in the area, not just in terms of soil or climate, but also in terms of marketing. So we also look at the market potential of any livelihood project we will provide. Okay, the social preparation part, and we will have to profile them and enroll them in the what was formerly mentioned as the RSPSA, the Registry of System for Basic Sectors in Agriculture. And well, another component is the market assistance and enterprise development, because the Saad does not want just to provide inputs, because these are grants. We give this to them from crops, livestock, and fishery inputs, but we would help them become enterprises. This is because, of course, we do not want to waste our resources. Government resources are our resources from our taxes. So we hope that they will care for the inputs that we will, interventions that we will give to them. And we have had some success stories which will be shared by our some of our farmer and fishermen here. Okay, and also the production and livelihood component, the last component, as I mentioned, we provide crops, livestock, and fishery inputs. Of course, these are just small scale, because we have we are aware that we have banner programs under the department. The banner programs takes care of the major crops, right? Food self-sufficiency for rice, corn, high value livestock and fisheries. But the Saad is distinct because its focus is poverty. Only the beneficiaries of Saad should be poor. So we have to look at their income base, and determine through ocular visits and also through validation with the local government units, because we work very closely with our LGUs in helping our beneficiaries. That's an overview. Is there another slide?
There are 3 slides,
Well,
sir.
okay, this slide already, but I already mentioned the components. Program management, again, social preparation, market assistance and livelihood intervention, and production and livelihood interventions. I don't have to read all the outputs and outcomes, but the impact, there are 2. First is the improved household food consumption. The Saad started with prioritizing just food on the table. But later on, we had to look beyond food on the table, because the farmers and fisher folk will produce not just for their home consumption, but they also will need income. So the second impact we want is increase income and improve, and of course, improve economic status. And we had already done some third-party assessments or evaluation because we do not want to evaluate ourselves. So, well, maganda naman, or I mean, there are significant increases in income of our beneficiaries because they already grew into some enterprises. And you will know them later in the second segment with me. So siguro that's it for now.
And
You want me
we
to?
have-
Okay. Continue.
yes.
Okay. These are the additional key features of the Saad. First, I also already mentioned this is poverty focused. The targeting is based on the Philippine Statistical Authority data. So if you are classified as poorest province, you are included. But we have to limit, of course. So we have to do some provinces only in Luzon, some provinces only in Visayas and Mindanao. But we were able to target 60 provinces this phase 1, okay? Including some from BARM, Sulu, Maguindanao, and Lanao del Sur, okay? For the phase 2, next year, we will be targeting more municipalities, which will be based from 5th and 6th class municipalities. And again, the top third poorest based on the Philippine Statistical Authority poverty data. So we will only focus on them, on these areas. That's the first layer. The second layer is at the beneficiary level. Again, we will have to profile them and see if they are eligible. So that's the one key feature of the Saad. Poorest, and the next some features. Can you?
Can we go
There-
back to the
yeah.
slides, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, one feature is the program management. We have a program management system up to the area. We have area coordinators. As you well know, the Department of Agriculture is just up to the regional office because of the local government code. But the Saad program was able to hire area coordinators who are going into the municipalities, okay? Going into the farm and cooperatives and associations. Well, I already mentioned these other features: social preparation, livelihood packages, and interventions should be ideally available in the area because when the pandemic occurred, COVID-19, it was very difficult to get inputs. So we are promoting multiplier farms in the areas for animals and crops, nurseries. So to help the get more inputs near their area, okay? And also we also cover kasi the GDAS, geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas. So there's problem in access. So if there is production of stocks in their area, it's better. Okay. Well, another is enterprise development. We would like our beneficiaries to develop enterprises to be able to market. And some of them have already marketed well using the not just the local market but also the Kadiwa. Okay. And sustainability planning, that is one key feature also. We train our farmers and fisher folk in the bookkeeping, financial literacy, organizational development, because that is one of the old issues. There's always infighting within organizations. That is why we emphasize social preparation. Okay. And the last feature is partnerships. Automatically, we partner with the local government units, non-government, national government agencies also like the DSWD. The 4Ps program beneficiaries is also one of our priority database. We look at their database because they're supposed to be poor. So we cross-check our and right now we are partnering already with the Sustainable Livelihood Program of the DSWD. Okay. Provision. They will be providing other interventions to Saad beneficiaries also. Especially at the end part, yung processing na and others. Okay. And we have a partnership also with some donors like the the TICA, Turkey International Cooperation Agency. They provided some inputs like horses in the Cordilleras. They provided treasures in Region 8, and hopefully they will be providing more because they are asking us for proposals which we already submitted. Siguro yun na muna, Jeff.
Thank you very much. That's Director Ulysses J. Luceria Jr. from Saad NPMO. Now, Sir Yuli had said enough about the Saad program, so we will proceed to our next guest from the Rural Rising PH, Ms. Andy Estrada and Mr. Ace Estrada, the founders of the Rural Rising PH. Hi, ma'am and sir.
Hello. I believe we have a slide to play in lieu of our introduction.
Video.
Yes, a video.
So for now, while ayan, okay na pala.
Can you start from the beginning? So medyo napuyat kami because we kind of have to put the English subtitles for the benefit.
Tabaan Sur, Tuba, Benguet. Dito ngayon ang Rescue by Mission ng mag-asawang Ace at Andy Estrada ng Rural Rising Philippines. Nagtipon-tipon ng mga kababayan nating magsasaka sa pag-asang may bebenta nila ang kanilang mga itinanim na lemons.
Ilan ang lemons na available ngayon na pwede niyong harvestin, na pwede na ibenta? Masasabi ko pa merong 2 tons. Itaas ko pa, sabihin ko 10 tons ngayong araw na to. Kaya? Kung sabi ko ngayon hindi ko mabibili, saan po pupunta ang 10 tons ng lemons ninyo? Ano pong mangyayari?
Kung madami yung lemon, nasisira yung iba, may bago na naman darating. Ganun, sir. Yun na, iiyak na yung farmer.
Parehong calling nila itong may tuturing na nagsimula lamang noong Abril 2020. Kasagsagan pa ng pandemya, parehong educator at may sariling negosyo ang mag-asawa. Nang makita nilang itinatapon na lamang ng mga magsasaka sa Benguet ang mga tanim nilang carrots, ang mga gulay, libreng pinamimigay na lamang sa iba, ibinahagi ni Ace sa social media ang kanilang nakita at umani ito ng reaksyon mula sa mga netizens.
Dahil doon, nagkaroon kami ng parang calling, masasabi, na pwedeng may magawa para sa mga natatapong gulay na to. 10 years ago, nandun ako sa Korea na merong suporta ang gobyerno at ang civic society sa agrikultura, and sabi ko, sana magkaroon ng ganun sa Pilipinas. So yun, nandun yung idea ng Rural Rising. And parang push for a movement.
Gumawa ng public group ang Rural Rising at sa kasalukuyan, meron na itong mahigit sa 100,000 at 40 mga miyembro. Dito pinost at ibinenta ni na Andy ang mga tanim na kanilang binibili mula sa mga magsasakang nangangailangan ng tulong.
Ganito po ang klase ng nasuna namin. Gusto namin magpatulong po dahil wala nang budget.
Sana matulungan niyo ako. Ito po, maganda po siya.
Daan-daan na ang napuntahang mga magsasaka ni na Ace sa iba't ibang panig ng Pilipinas. At dahilan nito para mas lalo pang ipagpatuloy ang kanilang nasimulang advokasya.
Lahat ng mga taga-Tabaan Sur, 7 zones, and then all these people, lahat sila nagtatanim sila ng lemon. We are suffering of the low price, kaya nga we are seeking your help, pamaraan para makaangat.
Hindi po kami magaling. Ang dala po namin ay pag-asa. Yung farmer nagmamakaawa na, "Sir, padala ka na lang ng truck, sir, huwag mo na bayaran. Sir, 5 piso lang, sir, piso na lang."
Lagi kaming living by the day, rescue and helping the farmers, almost always an emergency case, parang ganon. So, pag gabi or umaga, meron kami na-receive na call na tulungan nyo kami dito sa barangay or probinsyang ganito. Hindi namin to in-expect. And it changed us as individuals and as couple or as a family, in fact. Pero nung Rural Rising, parang it became larger than us.
Nitong kamakailan lamang, si Paulina Cipriano, isa sa mga nagsasaka ng lemon sa lugar, ang humingi ng saklolo sa Rural Rising.
Yung time na yon, hindi namin talaga alam kung saan namin dadalhin yung lemon na yon. Naging way yung Facebook, yung social media para makita namin yung mga post nila sa Rural Rising. Nag-try po ako nag-ask ng help sa kanila. Nagpadala po siya ng mga trucks and then binili po tapos binayaran po sa tamang halaga. Umabot na sa 5 tons po yung mga order nila.
Pangalawang beses na itong balik ni na Ace at Andy para naman sa mga residenteng nangangailangan ng tulong.
Narinig ko ang darating ang Rural Rising, karoon kami ng pag-asa. Ito lang yung inaasahan ko para sa pamilya ko. Pagbibili ng gatas, pagkain namin. Yun lang, ito lang yung tinanim ko kasi, kaya dito lang ako kumukuha lahat ng kailangan namin.
Ang ganda nito.
Oversize.
Wow. So ito reject pa rin to because
Malaki.
Oo, malaki. It's the perfect lemon. Ang daling pigain, oh man. Hindi mo na, di ba ang lemon dapat niro-roll pa, no? Ito talagang
Yung imported ganun. Pero
ang ganda. Sobrang juicy. Oh, nakakapanghinaya.
Kumuha sila sa akin ng mga 2 tons. Kinukuha naman nila sa tamang presyo. Yung hindi tayo lugi, hindi rin sila lugi. Pantay. Medyo maganda rin yun kasi meron na kaming pangbili ng pagkain na. Saka yung kailangan namin dito. Mas maganda tangkilikin natin ang local lemon kasi sa atin to
Bago ibinyahin ng Rural Rising ang mga nai-rescue'ng buy na lemons, nagpamahagi muna sila ng kaunting tulong sa relief goods para mas mabuhayan pa ng loob ang mga kababayan nating magsasaka.
Nagpapasalamat po kami kasi patuloy pa rin silang tumutulong hanggang ngayon.
Bago bumalik ng Maynila, nagtungo naman muna sila sa Gabaldon, Nueva Ecija para naman sa isang proyektong hindi rin nila inaakalang may isa sa katuparan nila.
Nag-start yung project namin sa Mount Mingan, accidental din, just like Rural Rising.
Dahil gusto ni Andy na matutunan ang pagtatanim ng mga prutas at gulay, sinubukan niya ito.
Yung kalabasa ko ganyan lang kaliit. And I'm wondering, saan ako nagkulang? Bumibili ako ng pataba, ng foliar, lahat. Pagdating ko kalabasa ko, ayaw lumaki. Sabi ko, ayoko na ng kalabasa, gusto ko kamote. Yung kamote ko maliit din. I started talking to people. Then I realized, ang problem nila is patubig. So, there was a time na nagkaroon kami ng chance makausap ang Australian Embassy and then nakahingi kami ng grant after submitting paperwork. And then, binigyan kami ng seed money to start water distribution tank.
Itong barangay Pinamalisan na nasa lugar na to, we are now in Camp 2. Sa Camp 3 may tubig, free-flowing water, mga waterfalls. Ang problema is yung cost ng mga farmers natin para dalhin ang tubig doon, ilalagay sa hose para ibaba sa baba para maging irrigation. With this project, we can gather the water dito and give them free access to water. Libre po.
What we do is something that a lot of people can do or must do. Pero yung sa amin po, yung ano yung maiiwan namin na talagang lasting at saka maraming makikinabang kahit wala na kami.
Isa sa mga excited sa proyektong ito ay si Tatay Cerdeño Ramirez. Bagamat wala ng mga paa, tuloy pa rin ang pagtitiyaga niya sa pagtatanim.
Ako po isang farmers. Magkatanim po ng mga gulay. Ngayon po medyo lumakas po yung loob namin. Dumating po si Sir S. Siya po yung namabili sa akin po ng mga pakuan. Lahat po ng mga tanim po siya po ang kumukuha. Kaso po, yung po nung nakaraan, medyo nung napaghirap po kami loob kasi alam po kami tubig na ginagamit. Siya po yung tumulong sa amin para magkaroon kami ng tubig. Ang kailangan po namin yung tubig para po magtuloy-tuloy po yung aming paghahalaman. Maski po tag-araw ganon. Po nagkapasalamat sa Rolling Seed po na bigyan kami ng pansin po rito na sa paghahalaman.
Ang kwento ni na Ace at Andy ng Rural Rising ay isang patunay na kung ano ang iyong itinanim, yun din ang iyong aanihin. Sa sarili nilang paraan, nakapagtatanim sila ng saya at pag-asa sa puso ng mga kababayan nating magsasaka.
This is something na na-discover namin accidentally and we're learning pa rin every day. Ito yung panahon na nagpre-prepare kami para sa Box All You Can. Ito yung event natin sa mga iba-ibang lugar. Kakaangkat kami ng mas marami from our dear farmers para mailapit sa consumers at mababang halaga. Halos 20 kilos na gulay, merong kalabasa, carrots, saging, kamote.
It's like a mystery box.
699. 699. I think parang pumapatak lang na 30 to 35 per kilo lahat ng gulay in this box.
Sa ngayon, pinagkakaabalahan muna nila ang paglalako ng mga nasagip nilang saka para kapag merong nagpapasaklolong magsasaka, handa ulit ang kanilang mga bulsa.
So that's the Rural Rising PH. And we have the Box All You Can here on the stage right now. You can see us. Maybe we've learned enough. Do you want to share other things? Okay. We've learned. Okay, sir.
Just one. So if we find this session very interactive, and to the person who most interacts with us, with Director, and me and Andy, gets this box to take home for free. Box All You Can. Okay ba yan? Let's give a big hand for our farmers, guys.
Thank you very much, Rural Rising PH. So I'm seeing two different approaches of agricultural development here. One is very intimate, very personal, advocacy oriented, while the other one responds to the mandate of the state to take care of the welfare of our farmers and fishers. So my first question, since we're tapping on the issue of sustainability, how
recording in progress,
very different coming from Saad, how is sustainability translated and reflected on your operations from Rural Rising, ma'am?
Good morning, everybody. Well, thank you for having us, first of all. So my name is Andy, and I was the one speaking on TV. That was a feature done by our ex-Vice President, Noli De Castro, I think a month and a half ago. And we just wanted to share it with you because it embodies everything that we were trying to do. As I mentioned in the film, it was an accidental effort. Therefore, it's an emergency response in nature. So when we're being asked of questions and keywords like sustainability, to be honest, it's not something we are able to answer or even think about completely or seriously, because it's a response to an emergency. Therefore, we act on what is needed. We go to a farmer who needs our help. And I think if we still have the energy and time and we are given more years, I think we could think about, and we've always been saying this, we're asking people to replicate what we do. We don't even say we want to replicate this. We want people to replicate what we do, because it's really not rocket science to gather people and encourage them to do this. And the farmers are just there. They're nearby. They're around us. and the market is there too. So all you have to do is link them together, not in a very grand way. Really, Facebook post is free, and but I think uniquely what we want to do in Rural Rising, I think what we were able to do as a kind of an advantage is that we're able to create the group who's a buyer's block. Nobody in that group sells except Rural Rising, and I mean Rural Rising, but we don't really sell farm products. What we're selling is stories, and what we're selling is the opportunity to help. So the group, we make them see what's happening in the countryside, and we tell them this is the kind of help, specific help that we need to do, not necessarily just buying, but first of all, understanding their situation, and then telling them these products need to be moved from the farm. Since yesterday, we have been hearing our speakers, and this is not to dispute or refute, but we don't really want the farmers to listen or even adapt to the market demand. They've been doing that. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to educate our market in the world that where we are, in the small group that we have. We tell them these goods are available, they exist. And some of them didn't even know what tuge or what is that thing from Ilocos that looks like a gabi?
Also yung mga bintong. Yes.
No, that's another one. There's a very weird looking gabi that's found only in Abra. Okay.
So actually, with your indulgence, if I could, we're talking about different places. Like this is Satsuma from the Malabing Valley of the Kasibu. And then we're talking about cabbages that are grown using the DNA of scorpions, scorpio cabbages. We're talking about oversized lemons, mga RR, that are not kalburo, but green. And these are oversized and these are being rejected because they're not yellow and they're not the right size. We're talking about this one, a bok choy. And we grow them locally and they're very perfectly fine to eat. We're talking about passion fruits, the sweetest, grenadilla from Bisao. You see, this is a box where you pay $6.99. Everything in here is a rescue produce. It represents the whole northern Luzon farmers. And this is what we do. It's about education. We're not selling vegetables. We're selling the opportunity for our members to help the farmers directly. So sustainability, wala po. Pero we're just hoping they would follow what we do and recite the stories to their own circles because our network is very small and others in the sphere of influence are bigger. So we're trying to set an example by doing what we can in our own small way.
So I think what I'm getting here is that we are introduced a different aspect of sustainability. So sustainability is not just the interventions that lasts, but also the produce or the resources or the efforts that we do for these resources to last and to be distributed to a lot of people or to the market. So from that, we are sustaining also the livelihood of our farmers. So don't say that there's no sustainability in that. So can I call Rural Rising as Ruri? Ruri, yes. Okay. So this is a different kind of sustainability that we are presented now. So from a private sector. So let us now go into the public, the government sector, Sir Yuli. What kind of sustainability does Saad offer? And that's another kind of sustainability din that Saad program is offering to the more marginalized farmers and fishers. Sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, in government, sustainability is or even in layman's term, continuity. But I think there are two sustainability levels. of course, the sustainability level of a project or a program. As I mentioned earlier, this Saad is just a project. It's called a program, but it's a project. It's a 6-year project terminating now. And it was just fortunate to have a phase 2, which is 2023 to 2028. But after 2028, we cannot tell if or say there's another Saad phase 3 or what. So at that level, sustainability is making the approach, institutionalizing it. It's a proper term. Institutionalization. Whether in what form, it becomes institutionalized. Well, in the department, it remains to be seen. Okay, because well, if you will look at the Agriculture and Fisheries Modernization Act, or the AFMA, it says there that one of the goals is social equity and poverty elevation. Okay, and that means it should be part of the department's goals. Okay, but of course, we are more into the productivity, the banner programs, and the Saad, as I said, distinct. Is a poverty alleviation or social protection project of the department. And well, for me, I hope it will continue even after project life, because it has helped a lot of poor farmers and fisher folk. And that's the first layer, first part. But another sustainability level is the sustainability at the farmer and fisher folk level. And that means after Saad is gone, they will be able to sustain their livelihood as enterprises. So at whatever level, I hope sustainability would be reached as an institution, and also as at the ground level as enterprises. That's my take on that. Thank you very much.
Sir, if I remember it right, our priority in Saad program is not really sustainability, right? It's putting food on the table primarily, right? So along the way, in the 6-year operation, we have developed mechanisms to make this, to capacitate our farmers and fishers to produce more for the, how do you call that, surplus, to produce surplus aside from the food on the table, so that they can sell these commodities to their communities. So it solves food sufficiency, because there's food on the table of the farmers, and they are offering commodities in a lower price for the community. So it's very community based talaga. So I think it's not too late for the Ruri to think about sustainability, because to the continuity of the program, because Saad program actually developed strategies along the way for its to strengthen the sustainability through enterprise or community-based enterprise establishment. So we all know that development works two-way. It's a two-way engagement, right? Tama po ba? For development workers. Tama po ba? Okay. So for the initiators, what is the design of your organization that fosters collaboration and calls for community participation? Who wants to answer first? What's the design or mechanism or tools that you use? Yes, Ma'am Marisol.
Good morning. The design we have used during introducing the interventions to the farmer. First, we have a long list of beneficiaries. Then, from the long listed beneficiaries, we go to the community to validate them. So, as results, there will be a short-listed beneficiaries. Then, that's the social preparation. So for the social preparation, then introducing them such interventions or projects. So the shortlisted beneficiaries enumerates what they want or what projects they want to engage with. But then with the given listed programs, projects, we as area coordinators validate what is suited for their area. Then from the that is municipal-wide consultation, then we give them we capacitate them for project development and these activities is under also for social preparation. The municipal-wide consultation, the project and the project implementation and policy formulation, and as well as the organizational management. As Sir Yuli said, that organizational management is important because if along the way farmers will argue with each other, but with that organization management and policy formulation for the project, it gives them its backbone for the project. Then after the social preparation, we engage in capacity building. One of the capacity building we have given to them is community-based management, which ensure to capacitate them in small community and simple bookkeeping for their to keep them track for the records for their sales and expenses. Then afterwards, so the association engaged in the project. Then we are capacitating them into technical trainings for them to capacitate how they will to ensure how they will be engaged in that what project will be given to them, like producing crops or engaging into livestock and poultry. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am Marisol, in Lanao, tama?
Zamboanga del Norte.
Zamboanga del Norte. In
Yes,
CDN, what are the special training sessions that we offered to our farmers there?
For our
Specific.
Yes, for our farmers, we give them the technical trainings on layer chicken project. So on that, one of the topic is how to raise, and if there will be some sakit illness will happen to the layer chicken, so they can treat what will be the medication can give to the chicken, like there will be a malaria or something will happen to the chicken.
Yes, so what we're getting here is that Saad program really emphasizes social preparation phase or framework of the program. It's a component of the program. So it's really extensive, so that because I think, Sir Yuli, diba, we don't allow farmers to receive the interventions unless they are trained to handle it, to how to grow it, how to take care of it. So I think that's on the side of Saad. How about in agriculture? Or how about in fisheries?
Yes, good morning everyone. So I am Aljun Magamano from the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, an attached agency of the Department of Agriculture. So I came from Northern Mindanao. So I am the focal person for Lanao del Norte implementation. So unlike the agriculture projects, we in the fisheries sector have limited capacity considering that in the past decades, most of the fisheries resources rely mainly on capture fisheries. So we rely on the abundance of our nature, our base, rivers and lakes. But then, as time goes by, our resources are continuously depleting. But that time, in 2019, when the province of Lanao del Norte enrolled to the Saad program, we shifted the focus for the fishery sector from the capture fisheries to aquaculture sector. So what we did in Lanao del Norte is we have 4 major criteria for the implementation and selection of project beneficiaries. So one, as we all know, we have the financial consideration since all of the projects have a limited budget, mainly because limited lang yung limited funds for the government to implement. Other consideration is we have the geographical location. We in Lanao del Norte, especially the municipality of Lanao del Norte, we are utilizing the Panguil Bay. So one of the most depleted base in the country. So this time we also consider what are the crops or the aquaculture or aquatic resources that can be utilized for production with consideration for sustainability. Other consideration we have is the human resources because we all know that our fishers, mostly for all their lives, mainly focus on capture. So now we need to train them to venture into aquaculture. So there is a need for them to undergo training, planning, not just give what they want, but we give what they need. So we also capacitate them on aquaculture production and aquaculture post-harvest to minimize losses and to value add the surplus and the smaller size because in Lanao, we focus on the production of tilapia and bangus. So bangus or milkfish, as we all know, the bigger the size, the better the price. But in terms of aquaculture, there are instances that some of our cultured stocks does not reach marketable size because of different situations. So those smaller sizes, instead of selling them at lower prices, we subject them to value adding and post-harvest marketing. So fish, as we all know, is one of the most crucial product because of its lifespan, shelf life for the fish. So we need to take for the post-harvest to extend the life of the product, also to put value. So aside from post-harvest, we also capacitate our fisher folk to venture into enterprise development. So we teach them how to grow the fish, we teach them how to process, and also we teach them to market their product. That is to ensure the sustainability of the project. So what we did is we partner with different government agency and non-government organizations for the conduct of trainings to ensure project sustainability in our area. So that would be.
Yes, Sir Aljon. So what we got there is it really is a dialogue between communities, the LGUs, municipal, agricultural, until the regional level, and of course the Saad implementers. Not to give them only what they think is best for them, but how it undergoes assessment on what they really need on the community and the market possibilities that may open in these in engaging in certain production. So thank you very much, Saad staff. So how about in Ruri, in collaboration, ma'am?
Okay. Let me just clarify. The question is what's our organization structure and workflow? Is that right?
Yes. How do you mobilize your workforce, ma'am? Dun sa How do you call for collaboration with different institutions to operate?
They come to us. That's the simple answer. Through the power of social media and our network, they call us. Kung sa farmer side, they send us, "Sir, bumibili po ba kayo ng ganito?" And ang tanong namin, magkano? Usually sabihin nila, "Magkano bilhin ninyo?" Parang ping-pong. Hindi po kayo magsabi, "Ay, nahiya po kami." And finally we say, "Ganito ang bili po ngayon sa NVAT, we'll pay you twice the amount." That's our collaboration and our exchange with farmers. With people who want to buy, it's really the group. And they ask us, anong kailangan? Anong kailangan bilhin? Saan pupunta? And they usually say, "Here's 5,000 pesos. Buy what you can. I-donate mo." So people like that are interacting with us in different ways, the buyers and the farmers.
In terms of logistics, so it's not like magic, right? We don't have farmers having these produce and then bigla na lang nasa Manila. There are in the network also, there are, thankfully, and we're very grateful up until now, even DA is telling us what are the routes they have. Even Cebu Pacific tell us, this is our schedule of flights. Truckers, bookstore shops, the Johnson & Johnson, all of these truckers are offering their schedule and telling us their backload time. So we don't really even need to spend so much on that. Ang problem lang namin, in terms of organization, it's just the two of us. And then our admin and ITs are our children. And then our staff in Ruri House are farmers, sons, daughters who tell us, baka po may trabaho dyan sa inyo at ganon. So it's really very rudimentary. Wala po kaming structure, business. Of course, we're SEC registered, but I mean, wala po kami mga position. We know that as the more people you hire and the less work we do or nagtatamad-tamad na kami, then more people we have to pay, which means cost for the gulay. So when you say sustainability and food security and all that, I think it's really all about making it cheaper for the consumers. Kasi kahit na ano pong effort natin in the farm side, in the agri side, pag hindi po kayang absorb ng market, hindi rin po sila bibili. We're not talking about the 1% ng society who can afford marketplace or Rockwell prices na yung kamote po natin na bintong binibenta po namin sa 40 per kilo. Doon sa Rockwell, sa power plant mall is 450 per kilo. May market na ganon. Hindi pa natin kayang itap yon. We are making sure na ang entry level ng patronage is low so that more people will buy. Ganon pong nangyayari. So ang online shops, and sad to say, sometimes yung kadiwa mas mataas pa sa grocery. Pasensya na po, pero we also see this and yun po yung nangyayari. So the reality is in the farm, mura lang po natin nabibili. Then you add all these spoilage costs and business costs, tumataas po yung bilihin. Natural, consumers will say, hindi muna kami kakain ng gulay. And we've seen this happen all the time, which is sad. So we are getting a lot of help from the group. And as former Secretary Manny Piñol, prophesize ba yung tawag mo doon pa? Oh, ano sabi niya?
Nag-prophecy siya na sana Rural Rising will grow to 1 million members. And kung mangyari yun, then it will be a happy day for farmers. We're just crying at what he said. The implications are just so great to imagine. We are suffering from something called absorptive capacity. Like a sponge, we have 35,000 members willing to pay, to buy. But if you divide that by 10%, there's 3,500 people who would buy one time this month. But not this week. So divide that 3.5 by 10 ulit, there's 350 people this week who would buy. They're limited by the size of their refrigerators or their feeling of happiness na nakatulong sila, it will last me until next month. So imagine if we're able to scale, not our operations, but the number of members who are willing to help and do it on their own, beyond Rural Rising, do what we're doing, then it's a happy day for the farmers. Yun yung scaling and sustainability and all that. Yun yung work and dream namin.
The workflow is actually just 24 hours, frankly, because when the call from the farmer side comes today, bukas harvest na. Or sometimes it happens that darating ang bagyo, the typhoon is coming, harvest namin ngayon. Instead of pababayaan naming masira, we need to harvest now. So we tell the group, oh, bago pa masira, let's help them already. And that's happened. So we send the trucks. If anyone from the government, always talks about farm to market road, please lang. I think the definition of farm to market road is not just the highways. It's the really from the Sapa, from the bukid. Sometimes in Dupax, Nueva Vizcaya, it takes them 1 hour per 100 meters to move the vegetables because sobrang kitid and putik ng daan na they even have to put nails. Ipapako nila yung, what do you call that? Winch. So that the tires will roll. Imagine that. Tapos, pagdating sa merkado, sa NBAT, walang bibili. The horrors and the stories, the miseries, it's just so much. So, yun po.
You would regret giving her a mic. So, I'm very sorry, but she speaks from the heart. Right now, you have to forgive she's doing her phone. Kasi we have a box Alican in Union Bank in Ortigas, and she's actually working with Transportify and the people and all that. So, dalawa lang kami. Sorry.
Okay, it's okay. We want as much insights as we can get from this session. Do we have a response from the Mother Department? Anyone from the Department of Agriculture to address those issues? Do you want to speak about the farm to market roads don't translate in highways,
Well, sige po. Sige po. So, well, this is not just my how I see it, but this is more on a personal capacity, because I'm not speaking anymore with the Department of Agriculture, but I'm with the Department of Agriculture by heart, because we have a common objective, and that is to really help the farmers. But I guess the chain of communication is broken. The problem is we have so many technocrats and many scientists dictating that we should do this, but of course we have to balance. Well, I think Ma'am is correct with regards to the we need to bring the prices of food to its lowest price, di ba? But unfortunately, there is such a thing as marketing, and we have so many entrepreneurs that really wanted to, to at the end of the day, it's more on the profit. But I guess if we can look at where the problem arises, it's more on education. It's more on the food education. And I was very privileged to have one of our agricultural mentee who hails from Cagayan de Oro. I think it's Jai's friend, Shalom Floro. Just so happened that his father worked before with our company, the company that I'm working right now, Planters Products. So we need to educate our children with regards to their choice of food, because our problem right now is that 85% of our populations are malnourished and suffering from stunted growth. Why? Because of the kind of food that we are eating. Imagine if we can educate our children to eat vegetables and fruits, because the main reason why why malnutrition and stunted growth happens is because of the kind of food that we are eating. They have to know the basic nutrition of each food. So this is more on educating from from our home to the table. Kasi I still remember that my grandmother and my parents told me to, at least if you eat an apple a day, diba? Ito yung common if you eat an apple a day, it will make the doctors away, which is true. Why? Because of the nutrients. So we have to explain everything. So food sustainability, food security, we really have to redefine it, because the main message should be food safety and food and the health of food that we are eating. So if we can translate that food security and food sustainability by adding food knowledge. Therefore, I think the bottom line is more on food sovereignty. We really have to start from the grassroots, and I think Saad is doing that because we have to empower our farmers. It's sad to say that we are a country of mendicants. Nakakahiya, di ba? Puro ayuda. But we need to teach the farmers to stand up, produce their own food. It's not just asking the support of the government, but we have to collaborate. We have to help each other, and it starts from the very essence of being a human being, from the very essence, the mind setting. So we really have to teach these farmers to grow your own food and stand on your feet because you are the ones providing for your family. So
Thank you, sir.
thank you.
May I add a little bit to what
Yes,
Sir
sir.
Matt said? Sir, everything's good what you said. Salamat po. But I'd like to make a rejoinder to the apple a day. Imported po kasi yung apple. So probably the message should be a guava a day or a Lisbon lemon a day para po matulungan yung local. The message should be buy local. Yun lang po.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
the nutrition.
Just having a recap on the collaboration, how to call. We're identifying mechanisms on how to call or mobilize our staff or our human resource. So there are two different types, no? In private sector, they receive calls. Two different types that involves active communication. So in private sector, they receive calls. However, unfortunately, I don't know if this is an advantage or not. In the government system po, we need to, ano ba yun sa Tagalog, nagmamano. Because it's very bureaucratic. So it involves a lot of processes, a lot of communication channels before. Kaya marami nagreklamo, no, ang tagal ng ayuda, ang tagal ng response, ang tagal ng proseso. It's because we are the system is really bureaucratic, so it goes through a lot of processes. So that's why in Saad we try to improve. However, we're still inside that kind of system. So thank you very much for understanding. So let's proceed to sharing some success stories from our farmers and fisher association leaders. Sir Lauro?
Yes, I'm Lauro, a chairman of Lafico, Lala Fishermen Cooperative of Lala. The base in Lanao del Norte. The first, before I introduce to you on how we have become a progressive cooperative, I represent first to you how we organize by the Department of Agriculture, the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, and the BIPA on the Saad program. They conduct the Bureau of Fisheries asked the LGU of Lala to conduct a cooperative. Then the LGU of Lala asked the municipality under the barangay captain to conduct 4 fishermen around the Pangil Bay. We organize members from a poor family. Then we are organized by the CDE. Then the Saad program give us a project, fish pen, bangus na milk fish culture in marine water. This is our...
I think we have slides, Tatay. Let's just wait for the BFAR slides to come out in the screen. No, this is for the agriculture. Sorry. So, Sir Aljon, you can guide Tatay Lauro in his... Okay. Thank you.
This is our how we fund our fish pen. We are composed of 63 members. Pasita, Lala, Lanao del Norte. We have an area covered in the only 1,800 square meters of 3-unit fish pen. Area covered 200-meter shoreline beach resorts. Area covered with 9 coastal barangays. The recipients of the following come from the BIPAR Saad project are the milk fish culture in fish pen project 2 units, 1 unit of mini processing shed and the post harvest processing utensil and equipment. Aside from a fish pen, Lafico was able to grow and expanded later and offering different services. They generated with a Philippine money of 1,543,675 income for 2 cropping cycles of milk fish in 2019. That followed in this beach resort with a 7 years contract, including a small store within the vicinity on January 23, 2020. The beach new being marketed as a tourist resort place. The cooperative also now own a grocery store in the Barangay Pasita where display a bottled bangus, burger, corn oil, and boneless bangus product. The project cost of
Okay, ay Tatay Lauro, I think Aljun can discuss about the services of Lafico. Now, Lafico is a BFAR Saad beneficiary in Lanao. So, Sir Aljun, can you walk us through the development of Lafico?
Yes, so Lafico is previously before the implementation of the Saad program is just a simple association. Association of fisher folk with no activity if there is no project. So that's what usually happens of the association in the area. So in the implementation of the Saad program, we provide agricultural inputs for the production of bangus with the goal that after the program, after the implementation of the program, they will graduate into enterprise developed in the community through the organization of the group into the as cooperative, as fisher folk cooperative. So what happened during the implementation is we provide the inputs while they manage the growing of the bangus in pen for 5 to 6 months. So from our project inputs that we given to them for the past 3 years, from 2019 to 2021, they from 4.6 million project inputs, they generated an income of more than 7.8 million pesos. So this, we also like to highlight that our project only involves the production of a milkfish in pen culture. So the beach resort and the sari-sari store, the grocery store that they operating now is from the income that they gain from the project. So the group members are trained to post-harvest to produce the bangus in corn oil, the bangus bottled products, and the deboned bangus products. They capacitated through the conduct of trainings by the Saad program. So those individual, especially the wives of our fisher folk, are now the one operating our mini processing shed that provided by the Saad program. So now they are continuously producing products and marketing their product in different provinces of Mindanao. So the beach resort, which initially have a 7-year contract, so they acquire as a rent first. So rent of the product, which later on with the partnership of the Saad program, the local government of Lala and the Department of Tourism, they are now helping us to promote the area as one of the tourist destination in the province. So what we would like to say is that Saad program is a collaboration project between different LGU and of course with participation of our active and responsive fisher folk. So that is why the co-op graduated and become a progressive cooperative in the area.
How long have they been operating independently, sir? How long have they been operating independently, not under SAD anymore?
Yes, the SAD program ended for the BFAR SAD program ended in 2021. So this year, they are all alone operating the business enterprise. So now, we only give 2 units of fish pen. But what they did is they expand and constructed additional one from the income. So now they operated 3 units of fish pen. They are also supplying agricultural products such as bamboos, fishing gears, and also they also tapped by the local government unit as caterer services for the conduct of meetings. So they are now operating 100% at their own from 2022, from the start of 2022.
Sir, what's the SAAD rules in the fisher folks' engagement to the aside from the SAAD given project, anong ginawa ni SAAD program para i-guide ang ating Fisher Folk Association?
Yes. So what we did in SAAD program, aside from giving provisions of livelihood support, we also conducted trainings to capacitate them. So not just trainings on how to culture the bangus, but also we provide trainings on post-harvest marketing, including financial literacy, simple bookkeeping, and other relevant trainings that is needed for the operation of the business enterprise. So the officers and the officials of the cooperative have undergone trainings, so financial trainings and marketing trainings, such as one example is the digital marketing. By now, by this time, Lafico is available in Shopee and Lazada. So you can now order toad bangus product and debone bangus products. So we capacitated them and guide them through provision of trainings and render of technical assistance.
Thank you, Sir Aljan. Ma'am Andy, yes.
I hope it's okay. I'm asking my co-panelists. So okay, we see this data, right? Like of how much you've produced. I just wonder how many members are there in Lafico, and then with the amount of money that you've made from that production, how much did that translate to the members in money terms?
Yes, so on behalf I will answer. So the SAAD program the goal is to provide projects, and later on, for example, the milkfish culture and project, we stock 10,000 bangus, and after 5 months, we can generate a gross income of around 500 to 600,000 pesos per cropping per unit. So as the sign of the cooperative, those 600,000 cannot be divided directly for the benefit of the fisher folk. What we did is we have, in compliance also with the rules and regulation of the Cooperative Development Authority, we allocated funds for the recropping, for the next cropping. Also, we allocated funds for the business enterprise, and the rest were allocated for their income. So by this time, so I believe by this time, the group already have a dividend of more than 500,000 that they received directly from 2019 to 2021. The rest were reinvested to different business enterprise. So now, the Lafico is composed of 63 fishers, and employed 14 of each members for each business enterprise. So that's all for it.
Thank you very much. Did Aljan answer the question, ma'am? So how much, ma'am? You're calculating. Yes, but we also...
Figures, ma'am.
But we also have to remember that SAAD program started. The goal is when SAAD program started, the goal is to put food on the table first before expansion, before engaging them into different enterprises. So doon po nanggagaling ang SAAD program talaga. So I think the data might reflect na that's a very meager income, masyadong maliit for the 63 members. However, the original goal of SAAD is to provide food on the table, and these training and post-harvest marketing are the extra services that the program offers for the fisher folk and the farmers, so that they can sustain the production and later on really earn from this production, earn extra. Okay, so maybe we can discuss the challenges that Lafico faced during the years of implementation.
Yes. Yes, especially that the Saad program was already implemented in 2019. Then in 2020, we suffer from the occurrence of the COVID-19. So in 2019, this is the result of our assessment for the project. So in 2019, we can see that there is a limited participation of group members. Why? It is because that, as mentioned earlier, most of the fisher folk only ventured to capture, and our project focused mainly on aquaculture. So considering that they have a limited technical know-how on the culture of bangus in pen, so we can see that there is a limited participation of the group member. But then, with the conduct of trainings and capacity building, we can remedy the identified challenges. Next is, during that time, in 2019, there is a low farm gate price for bangus. As far as I can remember, we suffer for as low as 85 pesos per kilo of farm market price. So one reason that we can save the cost for the problem is because the cooperative is not yet fully established, and we cannot dictate that time the price of the buyer. So it's part of the marketing or the trading or of the mga buyers, the buyer part. So in 2020, this is a limited movement, considering that our fisher folk group members involves vast age groups. So we have involvement from the senior citizen, we have PWD members, women members, and youth members. So during the occurrence of COVID-19, those vulnerable individuals were not allowed to move, which hinders also the operation of the project. Then those in 2020, this is the time that they are fully registered by the Cooperative Development Authority. This time, there are also limited number of trainings that conducted for enterprise development, considering that we cannot conduct the training face-to-face. Then our fisher folk have limited access on technology such as our internet. So we cannot fully equip them on business enterprise training. So that is also the challenges. So now in 2021, one problem that we identified is the rising feed cost for the bangus feeds. As of this moment, the bangus feeds is around 1,000 pesos per bag. So 25 kilos per bag. So that is a big impact for the profit of the business. So with the high feed cost, instead that they plan to expand more their production areas, they are now hindered because of the rising feed costs. So also in 2021, not yet finished the COVID-19 disease, COVID-19 pandemic, there is also restrictions on the mobilization of the members. So those are the
Thank you, Sir
parts.
Aljon. That's the challenges on the field. So let's listen to the agriculture sector with Sir Sir Rodolfo Andial from Riconalia Farmers Association. Can we have the slides, please?
Yes, ma'am. Una sa lahat, Tagalog lang po ako, mama.
Yes, sir. No problem.
Magandang umaga po sa lahat. Salamat po ako, nandito po ako ngayon. Ang sa akin po, bilang presidente ng aming asosasyon, ayun po, nagkaroon kami ng project 2019 worth of 1.9 million.
Can we begin with the first slide, please?
1.9 million 18,120 pesos po ang naibigay po sa amin doon sa Siocon, sa Zamboanga del Norte, the Riconalia Farmers Association. Sa ngayon po, kahit papaano nakakaraos po ang aming ang goal ko dito at saka yung pinaka-challenge ko po, yung pagsimula kasi nang narior po ako sa aming association, kahit isang piso po, kahit 10 centavos, wala pong naipon yung dating tagapamahala ng aming association. So doon ako nahihirapan kasi kasi po sa programa ng Saad sa amin, counterpart po namin yung building, paano po namin maitayo. So ang ginawa ko po, nangungutang ako sa labas at nang dumating yung manok namin, mag-iisang linggo po, doon po ako nagsimula na sinukat ko muna paano ko mababayaran, paano to ma-successful yung aming proyekto galing sa Saad. So ang ginawa ko po, for the first time po ay hindi po ako kumukuha kahit isang piso po kahit sa pang-delivery namin. Kasi po hindi po ako masyado eksperyensado po sa farming na ganyan. So sabi ko sarili ko, kailangan ito na siguro pagkakataon na pag-aralan kong mabuti ito paano ito mapalago, mapaunlad, paano ito makamit namin ang hustong tamang panahon na maging successful po kami sa aming proyekto. So ang ginawa ko po, hindi po ako nanghihingi ng buwan ng sahod. Voluntaryo po ako hanggang ngayon, magti 3 years na kami kasi po ang goal ko dito, gusto ko po talaga na makamit na maging 5,000 heads kami. At sa ganon po na bawat taon, bawat cycle, nag-expand kami hanggang ngayon. Yung mula po 20 modules namin, ngayon maging 52 modules na po kami. Wow. So, ayun po, represent ko po sa inyo yung first cycle namin mula October hanggang 2000 po. Ayun.
December.
Hanggang December na nagkaroon po kami ng dito, sir. Dito lang. 227,860,000.
That's
860
for the first
pesos.
cycle, sir?
First cycle.
Yes.
And
then in 2019, in 3 years, no?
Total. Dito ba?
In 3 years of operation.
3 years operation namin. Yan po ang 7,863,041 pesos po. Yung po ang 3 years operation po namin. So, dito po, salamat po ako, nandito po ako ngayon na sana po mapagpatuloy ko rin na mapalawak na makamit ko yung 5,000 heads at doon po kami magsimula na magkaroon kami ng buwan ng sahod bawat isa sa aming officials at sa buong membro namin na 60 plus person po. At sa ngayon, kahit papaano po.
How about your investment, sir?
Sa investment po namin, okay naman po. Kahit papaano doon, demand mo, mas kulang na kulang talaga ang itlog doon sa Triple SB. Kasi po, doon sa Triple SB, Muslim country, Muslim area talaga doon, mas demand yung itlog namin doon, lalong-lalo na sa Ramadan at sa mga Christian naman, pa yung patungong Pasko ngayon, patungong December at saka face-to-face classes na po talaga ngayon. So, ang kinakailangan ko po ngayon mapalawak talaga yung poultry namin doon sa Zamboanga del Norte. Lalong-lalo na doon sa amin sa Riconalia Farmers Association.
Thank you, sir. How about, sir, Sir Yuli, you have anything to share about the success story, how Saad ushered these associations into what we call success. Maybe we can later on define what success is for the program so that we will just have an idea of what it is. Sir Yuli.
Yeah, I guess everybody ano naman what observe the success. These are just two of the two of the enterprises that the SAD assisted for these 6 years we were able to develop about almost more or less 300 enterprises. And I would like to emphasize that, yung nga, sabi ni Jeff kanina, hindi naman talaga enterprise yung nasa isip eh.
Yes.
We focus on the food on the table, but later on there is surplus eh. And we have to help them become enterprises, accredited and everything, trained. And it was a journey. It was a journey. It was not an easy journey. Because yun nga, sabi ko there are many challenges. We are just up to the regional level. We have to hire area coordinators to really monitor, to really supervise them, to assist them technically, organizationally. So these success stories we would like to continue. We would like to continue. And this 3-0 forum, we are very thankful and appreciate it because some would be able to we are able to promote the approach of the SAAD and what it is about. Okay.
Sir, I have a question just to give context because we're defining success in different lenses. We're reading success in different lenses. So how does Saad measure success, the success of the operations?
Yeah, we go back to the impact I mentioned earlier in the framework. There are two, di ba? Household food consumption. I think they already got it early phase of their project. They get it already. There's food on the table. The second is income. If you look at they presented their revenue, their revenue streams. They're earning. Of course, they are not really earning that much pa, and but there's sustainability already. We are leaving them already, like sa before, sa fisheries. They're on their own. That is also I think a measure of success is when they already can operate on their own. Yes. That is sustainability. With minimal government, if none, at least minimal government na lang na assistance. So that's, I think, is a very, very big indicator.
Thank you.
They are already almost independent or independent, and they're already what? They have their resorts.
Beach resort.
They already work with tourism. They're doing it on their own. They're funding it from their own income, not from government. That is very big, and I hope we will be able to continue that with other farmer cooperatives and associations and beneficiaries.
So we'll talk about that later on how to replicate those strategies, sir. So let's go to Ruri first. Ma'am, let's go to Ruri. How do you measure success and what are these stories, ma'am? Sir.
We measure success by the individual farmers we're able to help. That's one. For them to be able to sell their produce when they're in distress, walang bumibili, itinatapon na lang. And for us to buy it, that's already success. And secondly, more importantly, yung members natin when they're able to get fresh produce and they feel happy with what they bought and they would want to buy again, that's already another measure of success. I'll pass the mic to Andy to kind of elaborate more on this.
We don't have grand vision, even at this time, even 2.5 years later. We just feel that as long as we're able to help one farmer, one fisherman at a time, we're already able to
do a bit of what we can. And one thing that's probably characteristic of what we do is that's the reason why, and it's something that we probably need to rethink, is that there are a lot of cooperatives and associations and banks wanting to partner with us. Frankly, the banks wanted to partner with us so that the farmers who loaned money from them can get a market, right? That's obvious. Cooperatives, associations, but we really are targeting smallholder farmers, distressed farmers, rural farmers who are not banked, who are not even, wala sa radar ng cooperatives, because they're the ones that really need help. And so happen may pamangkin sila or anak na nagpe-Facebook and they're able to connect to us. Our phone numbers are out there. So yung success po namin, kunyari in a week, we're able to help 10 farmers. Okay na po sa amin yun. Nabayaran nila yung utang nila, nakabili sila uli ng pantanim, okay na rin po sa amin yun. So what we want to bring them is hope. Hope na meron silang matatakbuhan, and that's enough for us. And that's why I have to siguro po makikita nyo sa group if you would want to join us. We don't mention, sorry to say, government. We don't talk about politicians or group or cooperatives, because we try to do what we can without having to use government resources or even want to be associated, in the sense na we're just very apolitical. That's the truth. Frankly, nung umpisa po, akala namin, pasensya na po, we always have to collaborate. But I've already spoken to many congressmen and politicians when we were starting. And then every time, meron po kasi akong dalawang request na sana mangyari sa Pilipinas. The first one is to legislate yung pricing system. Bakit po sa livestock, sa groceries, merong price ceiling? Bakit sa fresh produce or isda, bakit walang price floor? Lagi silang susunod sa market demand, susunod sa kalamidad. Kami pong mga consumers, nasa-shock kami na 200 per kilo na ang carrots. Dati po, 4 months ago, 10 pesos, 1 peso per kilo. So why can't we do something about regulating this? Another is that, frankly, masyado pong nade-demonize ang middleman. Yun po yung sinasabi natin, ang mga middleman ang problema. But frankly, we do need them. We do. Pero dapat siguro i-legislate ng government yung kanilang trabaho para ma-monitor sila and ma-tax sila and bigyan ng decency yung trabaho nila para po patas sila sa supplier, patas sila sa farmer, patas din sila sa consumer. So I've already mentioned this to 2-3 congressmen, and lagi pong sinasabi sa akin, marami tayong mga kalaban dyan. So wala po. Kami, sige, let's do what we can na lang. Yun. You don't give me the mic anymore.
We have a lot to say. Join the group, Rural Rising PH. Nandun po lahat ng stories. I do the writing, she does the ranting. So, balanced.
So that's we're presented with very different perspective of success, especially if we're talking about the most marginalized sector. The income, sasabihin, that's very little. Hindi naman masyado palang kumikita. But we need to understand that the most marginalized sectors have very limited access to opportunities. So these kinds of, maybe may iba mabababaan or mababagalan, but these kinds of progress that we get from the RURI and our Saad associations are a huge leap on the development of the most marginalized sectors, because I think in regular and banner programs in the DA, the areas of Saad are not covered because they live in the most far-flung areas without signal, without roads, isolated islands. So ito yung mga little success pero very big impact in the community. Sir, you're raising your hand. Sorry.
I just felt I wanted to share this. You know, we all have this tendency to point fingers, but what's common with all of us here is we all have the heart for it. No doubt. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, we all have the heart for what we're doing. And I think circumstances are all different from where we all are from different parts of the Philippines. And I really think what's the common denominator here is we all have our personal efforts to contribute to the common goal of helping each other out. It's just that our vantage points are all different. Tama po ba? And that's where conflict starts, right? We really believe where we are from is peace through development. And a lot of it starts before you even talk about all of these innovations, technologies, and all of that, know-how, knowledge transfer. We all have to develop this thing called trust, right? And I think that's the baseline of what I'm hearing from everyone, that we all have the heart to do something about it. And I really thank this forum that we're having this conversation. Imagine in this room alone, these are cross-cultural concerns, right? Cross-cultural because we're coming from a perspective that iba-iba yung infrastructure lack, iba-iba yung infrastructure models. But at the same time, we also see that it's a learning experience for everyone, right? I've learned to distance myself from conflict in the sense that sometimes when we share our perspective, it's because we come from an environment of reaction, right? But if you say the same solution to a certain area in the rural areas, iba yung, it's not relatable, right? But the solutions here in the city work great for everyone. But I'd like to really point it out. Like sometimes we all have this tendency to point, particularly to the government. I've spoken to various leaders across the country, and I really feel that everyone has the same heart. It's just that there's limitations from the government because of parameters and function, right? And sometimes at the same time, from the private sector, it's so easy to pinpoint because of lack also. But I think, again, allow me to put everyone together that we all have the heart to serve. Okay? We're all in the same perspective. We're all in the same boat. Again, we're all here to develop our own areas and contribute with our own effort. And at the same time, converse with the goal to get to the next level. Okay? So I'd just like to point it out before sumabog yung conversation of pinpointing and everything, okay? So we really believe in our area that everything can move forward if there's trust, and we have this thing called peace through development, okay? Thank you.
Sir, what's your name, sir? Sorry?
Jai.
Sir John?
Jai.
Jai. Sir Jai, thank you very much. Sir, yes, sir.
Yes, at some point I didn't think there's a pressure or parang conflict or even the threat na sasabog yung conversation. But ito isang pasabog ko para sa iyo, John. Because of what you said, John, Jai, I'll be very pleased and honored for you to have the box all you can to keep or give away at your own discretion. Congratulations! Ganyan ang interaction. Yun ang pasabog. Sa'yo na to.
Thank you very much, Sir Ace. O, ayan, may nanalo na po. Uwian na ba? Hindi pa uwian. Okay. So, Sir Jai pointed out the limitations that we all have in our own points, on our own areas, in our own sectors. So, can we now proceed to discussing the challenges and the recommendations from you as development initiators and actors? Can we get it from Saad first, sir? Can you discuss about the limitations of Saad program? Why do these interventions? Kasi on the brief, we read that these interventions don't last. So why do you think so? And how do we solve it? Yes, sir. And your recommendations.
Yeah. I think I mentioned already some challenges earlier. It's because social equity and poverty alleviation is part of the DAs. But of course, as I earlier said, there's more focus on productivity programs. So sometimes hindi na natututukan yung the social equity and poverty alleviation. And it's just fortunate that there is a Saad. I have to give acknowledge also the secretary who launched it in the. It was already mentioned by Ma'am, Secretary Piñol. He launched the Saad at and it was fully supported by Secretary the next Secretary, Secretary Dar, and it is now fully still being continued to be supported by the present administration. And it happened so because there's all, again, politicians push for a phase 2, and I would like to thank them. I don't have to mention their names anymore. Some already are not congressmen, are already iba na position nila. But I have to thank them for pushing the Saad phase 2. And why? Why did they push for it? Because of the performance of phase 1. And nakita naman, we were able to prove through third-party evaluation or assessment na there are successes. And this helped us. And with that, the Department of Budget and Management was included the Saad phase 2 in the proposal. So it was also a surprise to us na magkaroon siya ng phase 2. Kasi it's not easy to get funds for this kind of social protection program. It's easier to get a social protection program approved under the DSWD because social protection programs is more under the mandate of the DSWD. But to be able to have a phase 2 under a different department like the DA, I think it's already a success. And the challenge is now is to institutionalize it, as I earlier mentioned. But how to do that, we will see. So the challenge, the funds are scarce, and and another challenge is to how to multiplier effect. The challenge is to have more partners, not just with local government units, but also with the non-government side. It's not easy because, as mentioned by Jai, we have different infrastructure or platforms. It's not easy to coordinate. Sa government pa lang mahirap na. But with NGOs, the private sector, it's not easy. Alam ni rin yan. Nasaan na ba si nasa likod ni Sir Matt, si Jazz. We want to work with Go Negosyo also because andyan na yung competence ng business competence to teach the farmers and fisher folk. It's not easy to coordinate that. Maraming proseso na dinadaanan. It's easy to on paper. But right now, may mga NGOs na talking with us to partner. Sa office, they're coming and establishing memorandum of agreements. So I just hope na it will become matuloy. Magkaroon kahit small partnerships lang with the private sector. That is the challenge. And the recommendation coming from me is we will let's all explore each other's kaya we are here in the 3-0 forum to explore, to learn from each other. Kasi some of us are even also doing business naman, di ba? In agriculture or in so I mean, some of us who are working our own businesses experience the difficulty, lalo na kung startup, the difficulty. So there's more, yung babalik na naman yung word na sinabi rin ni Sir Matt, convergence, na minention sa first session. Convergence, partnership, establishing relationships. I think that is the big challenge going forward. Going forward. And well, for the Saad specifically, hopefully nga, gusto na yun. Sana nga meron pang other donors. Bigger donors. Like what? World Bank, ADB? It's not far-fetched to get the support. If you get the support of those of international donors, mapansin man lang, total poverty alleviation naman ito. Yun naman ang target nila, di ba? ADB, World Bank. Well, let's see. So I think yun ang how to continue the effort, promote the approach, the poverty focus. Kasi yun ang minsan nawawala eh. Siguro okay na sa akin yun.
Yeah.
Kumain na tayo ng we already exceeded our time limit.
Yeah.
Pero ako ang ko sa iyo, Jeff, please give the last word to our farmers and fisher folk na magsalita.
Yes, sir. Can we?
But later na. Sige.
Okay, sir. What we got from Sir Yuli is the challenge of sustainability. Sustainability is really a concept of making a continuous social impact, because the challenge is the resources is scarce, and we have to converge more. And the solution is to be more open in communication, to explore ideas, and more convergences. No, how about in Ruri? Can we hear about your challenges and your recommendations? Yeah.
Yung challenge namin, magpapasko na. And we need an excuse to sell our kamatis and our eggs and our rice. Kung anong kulang na lang, mga bangus na bottled. Pwede bang bumili ng bangus sa inyo? Sa Lafico, usap po tayo. So that's our challenge. But gutom na siguro ako. So kidding aside, I'll pass the mic again to Andy. For the challenges that are really real at hindi bira.
Serious ako, bibili ako sa libo.
As I said, it's just our family right now doing Ruri. We have yet to think whether we would like to really see it as a business entity. Right now po, hindi to, walang halong, there's no pretense or PR or personally, hindi po kami mahilig doon. In fact, it was even mentioned by Sir Manny Piñol. So one thing about Ruri, sabi niya, and when he said that, we didn't even realize it until he said it, that they never post themselves. And in fact, parang, but wala kasi tayo doon, right? So parang next time, ako naman ang i-vlog mo. But seriously speaking, our limitations at Rural Rising is that it's just us. So we're not sure if we could scale it, or we would like investors to come in, because frankly there are a lot of people asking, but we're not sure if we want to go down that road. Like, you have investors telling you what to do and making sure they make money. We're so scared of that because we've always been self-made entrepreneurs. We never in our business, if you look at our lifestyle or even our history as couples or as individuals, we've never had to partner with anybody. So yun po yung challenges namin. We only have 24 hours a day, and sometimes kaya po siguro nakita niyo yung before look namin, medyo bata-bata pa yung itsura namin. But seriously, yun nga, sana po magkaroon ng replication in, tinanong ako ni Sir kanina kung meron sa Mindanao. Wala po kami sa Visayas, wala din kami sa Mindanao, but if somebody will just do it, wala pong template. Somebody asked us, can you give us talk? Can you give us coaching? No, there's none. We wake up every day, paggising, ang daming Facebook text messages, and then we just, eto, mas kailangan to ng tulong kasi ganyan. But we're not here to save the world. Wala din po kaming, sometimes gusto namin mag-rest, pero suddenly, Ayala Malls will tell you, we're giving you a free unit at Centera. Suddenly, said third pylon and the owners of United Auctioneers gave us a truck. You know, it's not something we asked for. It's something they gave. So what do? You just have to translate that help to other people, because wala kang choice. You're given a blessing or a gift. you have no choice but to help. So we're not angels or anything. We're being forced by the people around us to take action because maybe they like that we're simple. We're not an organization and there's no paperwork. Tawagan po kami, tatango kami, andyan na kami in 10 minutes. So mabilis lang po yung proseso sa amin because it's just the two of us. Like habang nasa shower siya, hey, do you wanna do this? Then yes, okay, text ko, okay, we'll do it. So there's no meeting, there's no conference or board meeting. So I guess that's our weakness and at the same time, the beauty of what we have at Rory.
So I think to sum up, we got the institutionalization of these kinds of programs that are targeted for the marginalized sector, hindi lang short-term programs, no? And we should increase partnerships and synergistic efforts from different involved sectors. And as what Sir Yuli said, we need to explore more and study more about the success stories and frameworks and processes and tools that work for some communities to replicate. So any final insights from our farmer and fishers association leaders? Sir, pwede tayo magbisaya, ha? Pwede.
Tagalogay ko na lang po para para po maging, kasi po ang aming kooperatiba is planning to become a multi-purpose cooperative. Kaya po sana kung sino po sa institusyon o agencies na makatutulong po sa amin, makapagpuan kami ng mini ice plant doon po sa aming sa community fish landing center namin. Kasi po wala pong ice plant doon. Malayo pa kung magbili sila ng ice plant, ang mga traders at buyers po doon ay pupunta pa ng Pagadian City, Iligan City, malayong malayo po. Bago sila makabalik parating kung wala na silang ice. Kaya po, hihiling ko po sana na kung sino pong mga agency o institusyon na kakatutulong po sa amin na para sa aming kooperatiba na lalo pong lalago para namin makuha namin ang aming mga plano sa aming kooperatiba ay hihingi po ng tulong sa kanila. Pati po kasi po yung aming pong community fish landing ay daanan po ng lahat ng mga harvest. Lahat ng mga isda na ina-harvest po doon ay nagkakailangan pong doon po dumadaan. Kaya po kung mabuti po ay kailangan po rin namin ng isang sakyanan para kami makapag-deliver sa malayong lugar din po.
Thank you, Tatay Lauro. May we proceed with Sir Rodolfo? Sir
Addition, in addition for the fishery sector, since yung request nila for the mini ice plant and yung trucks for delivery trucks, those are negative list of the Saad program because of limited funds. So we just want to highlight that those mentioned are a negative list of the Saad programs due to limitation of the funding of the program. So the mini ice plant is what happened in Lanao del Norte is we need to go as far as Pagadian City or Cagayan de Oro City just to buy ice. So considering that the milkfish product is a very perishable product that only takes 1 hour without ice to spoil, so we need to put a project strategically in the area. So that's what for the fishery sector. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Aljun. Sir Rodolfo.
Ang sa akin lang po, ma'am, ang pinag-usapan natin dito ay paano tayo makahaon sa hirap, di ba? So, ang sa akin lang po yun, kung may karagdagang tulong naman sa amin, na paano po namin malutasan yung hirap at mga different challenges po doon sa amin. Kasi po, lahat po ng materials na kinakailangan po namin mula sa egg tree, feeds, mula sa dipulog po. Kasi yun lang po, may nakakaya naman siguro kung sabihin ko na manghingi ako ng ganitong kailangan ko. Ang sa akin lang po na sana po magkaroon kami ng sasakyan na panghauling doon sa amin kasi po palaki na po yung proyekto namin galing sa DA Saad na magkaroon kami ng sasakyan at makatulong din ako sa ibang association doon sa buong Triple SB. Hindi lang doon sa Siocon, kahit sa Baligian, Sirawai at saka ayun, para magkaroon po kami ng kahit papaano na maiabot ko po sa mga pinakamababang sektor na mahirap kasi po ang punto natin dito ay makatulong sa mga mahirap po. So sana po kung nandito po ako, nandyan po kayo para makatulong sa akin. Nasa inyo po. Tapos puso po kong magpapasalamat kung mapaabot po sa amin na may karagdagang tulong po sa amin na mapalawak namin itong aming proyekto na galing sa DE Saad. Kasi po, ang itlog, kung itlog ang binabasihan natin paano po tayo kikita, wala po sa ₱1 bawat isang piraso ng itlog po. So kung gaano kalaki po ang lawak ng manok mo, gaano po karami, yun po ang kinikita mo, may ipon ng tubo mo galing sa iyong sakahan po. So, nandito po ako ito po. Sa harap ng aming ating director dito. Kung sana po sir nga na mayroong karagdagang tulong, yun lang po para sa akin. Kasi
Thank
po,
yes.
kahit ako, nandyan po ako, isa po ang nasa isip ko, tinatayuan ko bilang presidente ng aming association na makatulong po ako sa kapwa at maging mamanahin pa rin ang mga bagong henerasyon yung mga proyekto namin nandoon na galing po sa DE Saad.
Thank you very much, Sir Rodolfo. So we are presented with visions, great visions of the farmers and fishers, and that they are endless if they are given opportunities and chance to develop their own communities. So I think that's it for this panel session. I would like to thank the RURI, Rural Rising Philippines, and the DA Saad program, of course, the 30 Southeast Asia Forum for this opportunity. Thank you very much. Mapagpalayang araw po.